Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you what they don't tell you about the first trimester of pregnancy. If you're new here, I'm currently 11, almost 12 weeks with baby number 2. My son Hugo is 2 years old. And so I've been through this first trimester now twice, and there are definitely certain things, having gone through it now a second time, that I'm like, wow, that just got brushed right underneath the rug, huh? Like, I had no idea about that. Honestly, all of these things are just my opinion and my personal experience. If there's anything that I miss or anything that you personally want to share, definitely leave it down in the comments below. And let's jump into what they don't tell you about the first trimester. You will commonly hear people talk about not sharing your pregnancy or not wanting to share their pregnancy with friends, maybe extended family, until baby is about 8, 10, maybe even 12 weeks. And a lot of the times that's because of safety. They want to make sure that the baby's okay, and maybe they want to wait till their first scan to make sure everything's okay with the baby. And I've always completely understood that. I did that with my son. I definitely get that. With this pregnancy, I was just so impatient. And what they don't tell you is that if you share your news that you are expecting really early, like I did at about 4 weeks, your first trimester is going to feel so much longer than it actually is. With my son, if you watch my, I think, things they don't tell you about the first trimester video, I say in that video, which was something that had been widely disagreed with, that the first trimester seemed to fly by. And I honestly, looking back, think that's because I didn't really share the news with very many people until I was close to 12 weeks pregnant. And sure, when you're finally talking freely about your pregnancy at 12 weeks, it kind of seems like those 12 weeks went by quickly. If you start just telling everyone about your pregnancy pretty early on, from my experience, I found that the days then start to crawl by. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but like I mentioned, we told everyone at about 4 weeks. I just couldn't wait. I was so impatient. I wanted to share the wonderful news, and being on YouTube just means by default I'm an oversharer. And so I figured, all right, I'm gonna share early. It'll be great, kind of really keep people in the know day to day. Well, oh my, has the first trimester ever felt slower? No, the days seem to creep by. And the only way, like the only thing I can attribute that is possibly because I've been talking about it for what feels like forever. Just a word to the wise, if you are talking or sharing your pregnancy really early, it's possible that your first trimester is going to seem so much longer. And I mean, that's in addition to feeling the nausea and the exhaustion and the fatigue of the first trimester and really trying to battle through those symptoms, on top of feeling like you've been talking about your first trimester, talking about your pregnancy forever. Next thing that I wanted to talk about that I never had really heard being discussed before was restless leg syndrome. This isn't something that I suffered with my first pregnancy with my son, maybe one night or two. It's definitely something that I have experienced before, even while not pregnant, but I had no idea that it could take on a whole new form when you're pregnant. So with this baby, I have suffered from restless leg syndrome since pretty early on, and I had mentioned it on my Instagram, and some of you who had also been suffering from it had recommended taking magnesium. And I've been shouting from the mountaintops how wonderful taking magnesium has been, because it absolutely shut off my restless leg. If you have never suffered from restless leg syndrome, it's that horrible feeling, that annoying feeling of waking up in the middle of the night or right before you're about to fall asleep and feeling like you need to go run a marathon or stretch or move, and just feeling like you cannot quiet your body down. And for whatever reason, it's something that can happen during the first trimester, and I found that taking the magnesium has really helped to calm my nervous system and calm me down so that I am able to get a full night's sleep. Obviously, when it comes to taking any sort of vitamins or supplements, consult with your doctor first, but this is something that my doctor had supported, and I'm so glad she did, because oh my gosh, this has been such a lifesaver. Something else that they don't tell you about the first trimester, or something Something that I just feel like we need to rename is morning sickness. Morning sickness is the most misleading term, and if you look it up, the definition will specify that morning sickness does not just mean sickness in the morning. It usually encompasses nausea throughout the day, any time of day, in your first trimester or at any point in your pregnancy. Obviously, this is not the severe type of nausea that you need to be hospitalized for, but that sort of very almost mild to moderate nausea. You might throw up once or twice. If you're able to get through it, it does eventually go away as you venture in toward the second trimester. But my mind was kind of blown because I was like, why is it called morning sickness? Just like to get down to the point. Why is it called morning sickness if so many people don't experience it just in the morning? Like, can we just call it like pregnancy sickness? Or just like overall first trimester sickness? So the next thing that they don't tell you about the first trimester is a bit of a weird symptom that can come up. And I'm going to leave the name of the symptom right here. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I'll just butcher it. There are two separate names for this symptom that is a metallic taste in your mouth. So it's possible that you may have a symptom during your first trimester where it feels like, and even just saying this makes me want to gag, it may taste like you've been like sucking on pennies or coins. You'll have this very distinct metallic taste in your mouth, and it's disturbing, annoying, and just kind of gross. It's nothing to be highly concerned about. Obviously, it's something that you can mention to your doctor at one of your visits. From what I've looked up, it's due to the increase in progesterone and estrogen in your system because of your pregnancy. And what they recommend for getting rid of that metallic taste is like eating peppermints or ginger or introducing other stronger, bolder flavors into your mouth. But that's something that when I was doing a little bit of research for this video, I was like, oh wow, that's definitely not something that I knew. I've definitely had, I don't know if I've had that like strong metallic taste in my mouth, but I've definitely had sort of baseline stale taste in my mouth. You know that taste when you're not pregnant and you just feel like, oh, I need to brush my teeth, like it just feels kind of stale. That I've had. I don't know if that is this in a very, very, very mild form. But it is something that can happen, so just something to keep an eye out for. Another thing they don't tell you about the first trimester of pregnancy that I am experiencing now that this is pregnancy number 2, baby number 2, is that your morning pregnant belly is possibly, most likely, going to look so different than your evening belly. If this is your very first baby, then it's possible you won't be showing in the first trimester. Your body is still like pretty right and tight. But if you've had a baby before, that's pretty likely that you're gonna be showing earlier than you did with your first baby. And I just have to say, oh my gosh, I have never felt this symptom so hard as I do in this pregnancy. So I thought I'd get up and just show you my belly. Ow, my foot is asleep. So in the morning I wake up, and for the most part I look relatively like how I did before I was pregnant. Like my belly is, I wouldn't say flat, but like flatter than it is now. By the afternoon, so it's I think it's 3 o'clock now. Oh my gosh, you would think I'm like, you think I'm 20 weeks pregnant, right? My belly is so big and it's so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. And I don't remember being this uncomfortable with my first pregnancy with Hugo. I remember being uncomfortable like toward the middle and the end, like middle and the second trimester, and then the third trimester, obviously, when you're just like huge and carrying around a bowling ball. But the first trimester, no. I was definitely not uncomfortable like I am now. Now you would think that like I was carrying around a full-term baby by the end of the night, not just from how big my belly gets, but just it feels so heavy. It feels so heavy. And I don't recall anyone like mentioning that or like seeing that anywhere. So just a tidbit that like if I've had a baby before and you're in your second or third pregnancy, like your belly's just gonna get bigger sooner, and it's possible that that baby is gonna feel heavier earlier. even if what you're feeling is not like necessarily specifically the baby. And the very last thing that I wanted to mention has to do with nausea, and that is that your doctor may recommend you take Unisom and B6 as a combination to help combat your nausea. This is something that I had no idea about in my first pregnancy, and something that I didn't learn about in my second pregnancy until my nausea had pretty much subsided. I wish I had known, because a lot of people talk about it and rave about it and talk about how that combination of the Unisom and the B6 has really helped keep their nausea at bay. I know some women take it at the beginning of their pregnancy, even before their nausea gets really severe, and it helps keep their nausea at a really mild, manageable level. Some women don't even have nausea as a result of taking it. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, if you're in your early pregnancy, or if you're really in that like awful, severe nausea state of pregnancy, it might be something to bring up to your doctor if you've never heard of that before. All right, guys, and that's everything that they don't tell you about the first trimester of pregnancy. Again, if there's anything that I missed or anything that you want to contribute, definitely leave it down in the comments below. If you want to follow my pregnancy journey and all things motherhood and lifestyle, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.